yeah. Carbros USA, yeah.
This is Carbros Podcast, episode 68.
The big 6'8".
Big 6'8".
Still coming live from John's
Coming to
breakfast den.
Coming to you
John's
from
parents.
John's parents.
I don't know, it's like the fancy dining room. We had Thanksgiving in here one year.
Oh.
That was
Coming
like
to you
the
from
last
the
time I remember
fancy-
using this.
the family room.
Yeah, the formal,
I
yeah,
believe
formal
is what they
family
call
room.
it.
Yeah.
We're going to
And-
be playing some board games after this.
Since this
starting
is
a
John's
fire.
house, figured I would share with you this little gem that we found.
Yeah. If you're listening audio only, please check out at least the beginning of the YouTube video. Check that. When you enter my parents' house, this is what you're greeted with immediately when you look on the left is the high school photos of me and my two brothers. That's 18-year-old me, circa like 03, the prime of my Fast and Furious highlights.
Paul Walker
written all
highlights.
over
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Sam.
Sharp.
It's a good look.
Timeless.
Young whippersnapper. Okay. I forgot to mention it last episode, but we have a Patreon. If you like Carbros, consider signing up for our Patreon. You can Google Carbros Patreon. Patreon started charging sales tax.
Oh, that's right.
It seems like there has been a big crackdown on internet commerce.
Yeah.
Like this year.
The man
2020.
always needs to get his look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so when you buy stuff on eBay, they charge sales tax on your behalf, and now Patreon is taxed, and like YouTube views are more aggressively taxed. Just a bunch of stuff where it's like,
Paying sales tax on like used items is sweet on
that
eBay.
was so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think it's dumb that you have to pay sales tax on a used car
Yeah.
purchase.
Right, yeah.
And it can like vary widely.
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whoever bought the Lexus before me said they paid like $2,000, and then I put the full asking price, so I paid like $1,500 in tax 6 months later.
Just for the privilege of buying an old.
Yeah.
Just used car. It's like, oh, any transaction. So, anyways,
And let's just say, and don't forget that tax is completely separate from the actual registration fee.
yeah, that's
yeah.
not the registration fee.
No.
No. That is old tax. Taxi tax. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. We are earlier this year.
So back in the when did we start that? That was
the Kickstarter for Jack Diamond's Garage. We have been trying to move generally toward more, I don't know if ambitious is the right word, but more polished, larger scale kind of production things. And
kind of like the Monterey video. Last year.
like that level of stuff. And so we did a Kickstarter for Jack Diamond's
we launched
Garage.
that in February.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was like
February.
right before the shutdown.
Right.
Yeah.
At the time, everything was looking peachy.
Back when the world was easy.
Yeah.
Things were open. So anyways, we have still been making progress on that because there is a lot of upfront work to do, and we're working on that. But we wanted to put out, I guess, casting.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've gotten pretty far, I'd say, in the episode structure, and we have a fairly good idea of the people that we, kind of the roles that we have.
Yeah.
Although it's obviously a little flexible.
I would call it, roughish.
Right. And so the biggest problem with all the virus stuff is that we don't know. I mean, like we could film it, but like if we're gonna bring in like people in addition to ourselves, which is kind of one of the points of this thing. It makes it a little bit. Oh, yeah, come on out, and we're going to get together and do this. Where like if it was just us, I think we'd be less
Scared.
Like we would be filming whatever.
Yeah.
But this is like the idea of this is
it's a bit more complex,
right?
than
Right.
Just
And it
three
has
guys.
Theoretically it has more people.
Yes.
So that's part of the reason why we don't really know when
we can film safely.
Right. I mean, we probably could, but just like filming somewhere, because this is not going to be filmed at at one of our houses or anything. So,
Yes.
So there's a lot of outside stuff that's involved on that end. But on the bright side, we've kind of mentioned this before, that we would like to have like some either cameo roles for fans or anyone that's interested.
Yeah.
or even people that just would like to come hang out when we do it.
Yeah.
So if you're seriously interested in that, hit us up.
If you want to appear in, first of all, if you just want to come hang out.
Yeah, even if you don't want to be on screen.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty boring. Filming stuff is like surprise until people see what it's like to film things.
Yeah. It's very slow paced.
It's pretty slow. It's pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
But if you're down to just burn time,
Right.
like come on down. We don't mind
So,
that.
or if you want to be an extra or like have a small role.
If you want to have a small role, so far Ben Long, sup Ben,
What's up, Ben?
has expressed interest, and we have a role for him. He is worked in there. But if anyone else is interested as well in being a part of this, reach out to us.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. Obviously, you'll be responsible for your own transportation
Your
to Central
own
California.
everything.
So, yeah.
Other than like pizza.
Right. Yeah.
Pizza
Maybe a
and
Corona.
Coors Light or
Right.
something. But yeah, let us know.
So we still, I mean, like I said, because of all this crap, we don't really have an idea of when.
Yeah, we're not sure.
I mean, just hopefully within the next month or two, I would hope, but who the hell knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
At this point, we're just trying to get everything as ready as we can before we actually move on to that
Yeah.
stage.
Just get everything lined up.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you're interested, let us know. You could, I guess, post a comment or carbros2000 at gmail.com. Never mind. Not going to talk about it. Yes, I am. that Ferrari shirt.
Oh, right,
The
right.
Damian Stonebrook shirt.
Which is more than 5 years old at this point.
Yeah, it's like the second video we ever made. But that shirt caused
It's endeared.
immediately when we made that video, people started making
knockoff
like within
versions.
days. Like
Yeah.
the
hours,
day. Yeah.
hours of making that video, because you can quickly make like shirt for sale site.
Right.
There are sites who
You just upload your graphic.
your
upload your
graphic,
graphic and they will do shirts on demand, where it's essentially like an inkjet printer that prints onto shirts. And so in the comments of this video, people were posting like, if you want the shirt, buy it here.
Right.
You know,
Not
these like
something unaffiliated with us.
yeah, these industrious entrepreneurial people. And so we were deleting multiple at the time, like links per day to just like Teespring and, you know, these like kind of pop-up shirt design things. And so one person on eBay, House of Graphics, this company, they put Ferrari shirt car bros. It's unaffiliated with us. And they were like, the shirt from the video, that shirt was handmade.
Right.
It's like, you know, there was only one of them. And so they have been selling that shirt for 5 years now.
Right.
And I assume they've sold at least a couple hundred of them. I would imagine probably not more than 1,000, but around 500 maybe shirts. And so I was like, that shirt has become popular beyond us, which is kind of a bummer because the guy selling it he put Carbros in the eBay title, but it's not on
it doesn't say it on the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
also the shirt, like, is the proportions of the shirt are so bad
on his.
Yeah. Cause it's like on ours, it's like the Mustang logo was fairly small. And then like the Ferrari letters, you know, were
it's like correct.
Yeah, correct. But on his shirt, it's like everything's like giant. Yeah, it's like a massive postage stamp or, you know, whatever.
So we've kind of like, we've let that go. We will probably end up, I think in our future, we'll be making.
Well, there's that picture on that Reddit thing that you sent the other day.
Yeah, that shirt just.
How did you stump? Did someone like.
It's just front page of Reddit.
Really?
Yeah, it was just.
I thought like.
It wasn't about the shirt. It was
but I thought like someone emailed you like, here's your shirt.
No,
like, check this out. Look what I found.
Here's the picture I'm talking about. It was some unrelated thing, but it's like that shirt gets a lot of attention.
Right. Well, like in the comments of the picture, which is not related. Well, not at least like the shirt is not the subject of the photo.
Yeah.
Like more than half of the comments were about the shirt.
Many of the comments were about the shirt. And then the other thing is there is a 24-hour of Lemons team that has branded themselves as that shirt, as like Ferrari. Here's a picture of them.
Right.
And they did a VinWiki whatever video interviewing that guy, and he says in the video he was inspired by the video by Carbros, which is cool. Shout out to that guy. I don't remember his name, but what's up? But it's like in the Reddit comments they were just like, it's from this 24 Hours of Lemons. It's like, I don't know how to bottle up our
parody.
yeah, it's like I don't know how to control that stuff where it's like it feels like we keep getting, I don't know if burned is the right word.
We're just not aggressive enough.
We're
Yeah.
just not getting traction.
Well, the thing is, I think
on-
like in life, not just that, but like there's a gene that certain people have. It's like kind of shady and like a little entrepreneur-y where it's just like, yeah, I'll fucking do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's money to be made here.
well,
I'm gonna
yeah,
make it.
right.
I
Where
don't
it's just
really
like,
care.
like, look, I mean,
I'm going for it.
like this might not be like the most upstanding thing to
Yeah.
do, but yeah,
You're talking
I'm
about the
gonna
people
do
who an hour after that video came out are making
right. But
shirts
yeah,
to
but I mean
sell
that
or-
applies to all sorts of things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Or it's the same person as the person that makes a YouTube video like, oh, I'll go find all the greatest crashes from Top Gear.
Yeah.
And I'll put a video up like Top Gear greatest crashes, and I'll
Yeah.
get like 60 million views or whatever. Like,
Yeah, right.
like that's just like a gene that some people have. It's like, yeah, I'll do that.
That gene is called hardworking. I'm not surprised it's unfamiliar to you.
No, it's
I know
like,
what you're
it's like
I know what
it's
you
like
mean.
I don't want to. I'm not creative, but
yeah.
I'll like capitalize on what's
Yeah.
On other people's creativity.
right.
Yeah.
They're hyper opportunistic.
Yes.
Right,
basically.
right.
And they'll just do it without caring or
Right.
thinking about it. Yeah. So anyways, I just want I don't have a point here. It's just like,
Well, we talked about like maybe we should just fucking sell it, but at the time we were worried that like
yeah, we were
we
worried
kept holding
about
all these stories like Ferrari will come down
copyright,
hard.
yeah. Well, the thing is, I think we should just we should start selling shirts and that kind of stuff. I suspect they're only going to do a cease and desist.
Yeah, they're not gonna like
They're not going to actually take us to court.
Right.
Which at that point we just stop.
right.
We stop. You know,
Sure.
it's like fair enough. We stop. But yeah, be on the lookout. I have been thinking that a Carbros website would be helpful, if only just for a home base.
Right.
Because our entire presence being on YouTube kind of sucks. It's like, I don't know, YouTube's not the best. We don't really exist anywhere outside of YouTube. And so I'm thinking a website would be good and leaning heavier on the merch stuff. Like that shirt. We have a bunch of other shirt ideas because merch is fun. It's like people get something for their money.
Right.
It's like a one and done thing. So yeah, that's in the hopper. That's coming. Yeah. Only 5 years late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally getting around.
Finally getting around.
We should send a cease and desist to that other guy.
I've thought about it, doing something like, hey bro, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the legality is of
An
Yeah.
idea.
suing someone
for
over
a parody
joke
thing that you made
that-
using other logos.
using copyrighted material.
Right.
Or, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, there is that.
That's it. Yeah, so what was that last episode? No, not last episode, the previous
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago, we talked a little bit about we were talking about crossovers.
The crossover problem.
Well,
right?
I'll also
Like,
say we talked about like, can you make a crossover cool?
Right.
And a lot of the comments were coming back about the Audi. What's the Audi? I don't know.
QRS something.
Yeah, something like that. And then like the
SQ5.
Macan and stuff like that.
QRS.
Yeah, they were like, these are cool crossovers. And I
the
think,
Macan is cool.
yeah, I think we were more talking about cars under 40
Just like more
grand.
like mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think the Macan is cool. The Audi thing, not really. Sorry. Even I don't care if they're the same car.
Well, we kind
whatever.
of in the last episode we talked about Acura. And like Audi is like, I mean, I guess they're quote unquote better than Acura, but it's sort of the same thing where it's like, is this really that much different than a Volkswagen?
Yeah, Audi is
thing.
like German.
Yeah,
It's Subaru, but German.
right. But it's like you can get the same engine and transmission at least in most of in VW. So
I like Audi, but you're right. It's not. Those brands are so similar now. It's kind of hard to tell.
which is good for Volkswagen, I guess.
But yeah, Macan, I'm feeling. I like those things a lot.
Yeah.
Except now that I'm a Lexus man, I don't know. I don't know.
Low mileage.
It might be
Elevated your status.
It might be too
Yeah.
small of a vehicle for me. I prefer.
If you're just entering the luxury market.
Maybe if you don't feel like stepping up to the LX, you can settle on Macan.
No, but we talked about like the RAV4 Prime,
Right.
which is
potentially being
like cool.
cool.
And I mentioned like I said like a weird thing about getting one.
Yeah,
or at least,
you
like,
were,
or at least
look-
like,
yeah, you,
like looking into.
You
it.
mentioned you had contacted a dealer and they were like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So like in the days since then, like I think it's like supposed to be like on sale this month.
Yeah, very soon, if not
So like
now.
the cars
or
are like
something.
en route from Japan to dealers. So like
And this is a plug-in hybrid RAV4,
Right, with-
that is like leaning toward performance.
a little bit. Yeah, it's got 300 302 horsepower.
It's supposed to be like pretty fun to drive.
Right, but it's
for
still like
RAV4.
super practical.
Yeah.
And it can, run on electric for most of your normal driving.
Yeah.
So yeah, like within the last week or two, I started just like contacting different dealers just because I heard like there's going to be like a shortage of them.
Yeah.
Or especially in the first year.
Yeah.
Like just Toyota cannot meet demand.
Yeah.
Especially as far as, batteries.
Mm-hmm.
The people say, oh, like they're gonna be hard to get, or we have like huge wait lists.
Mm-hmm.
So just out of curiosity, I started emailing a bunch of different dealers, and it kind of like, I guess it brought me back down that same hole that I've experienced a couple different, like when I was looking into getting the Type R, just like how shady
Dealers are.
a lot of American car dealers are.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but you like I said, I probably contact. The good thing about living here is that like, you can reach out to dealers that are a few hours away. So there's 50 different, at least possible. It's not like I don't mind driving a couple hours to get a car.
Yeah, you can go down to LA or up to the Bay
Right.
Area.
There's a lot of different. There's a lot of different options, and most of them seems like they're going to be marking them. I sent you guys a screenshot the other day of one place that's trying to get $20,000.
Yeah.
Over sticker on a car that's like starting off at 40.
Yeah, RAV4 is 40, and they wanted a $20,000
Yeah.
additional markup.
Yeah.
He's like, we're getting two. Like, do you want one?
Yeah, he mentions it in the email. He's like, we're only asking a $20,000
Yeah, like
markup.
I misread it because I thought it said $19.95.
Yeah,
Now,
no.
I wouldn't pay a $19.90, but I was like, okay, well, I'd buy it sticker, not at $2,000 markup. And then I looked again. I was like, oh, he meant $19.9.
Yeah,
That's
$19.95.
funny to me is the markup they picked. It was a $19,995 markup. It's a number you invented, and then you tried to pull the $5 under move.
It's not $20,000. It's
Not 20
No,
grand.
we're only asking for 19,000.
It's only
markup.
19,000 of our total asshole markup
for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, our total piece of shit move. 19. There's a bunch of nines in there. It's much less. Like that just blew my mind.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
pretty.
would
It's
do
pretty
that.
fucking bold moves. But I mean,
Bold. That is a bold ass move.
So
50% of MSRP.
yeah. So I mean, like I said, I've heard that some dealers have like a waiting list of like 40 or 50 people,
Wow.
Jesus.
and then like they might only be getting like a couple, like over the course of the year. So, but the worst is that one dealer locally, I don't know. I guess I'm not going to say their name, mostly just because no one cares.
Sure.
But I found one place that supposedly will sell at MSRP
Okay.
for one that's coming in, but it wasn't like the color, because my wife is like pretty into it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, which helps me a little bit because I mean, I think it's cool. I'm not like
Yeah, but you don't have to sell it.
right. I was like, no, you should get this one.
Yeah, you don't have to sell her on it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but it's silver, so it's not, which is fine. But she wasn't like crazy about it.
What
so,
does she want? The red?
No, she likes white.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
but I mean, silver is fine. It's not.
Yeah, silver's all right.
It's fine. But so like I found another place that has a white one, and they're like, oh, I found a place that has a silver that they'd sell at sticker. Would you guys like go sticker on the white one? She's like, well, you'd have to come in and talk. You like,
Yeah.
She was like,
Fill out all this paperwork.
Well, first she was like, yeah, we should be able to do that. And then she's like, let me talk to my manager and I'll let you know. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then she calls back. She's like, well, I talked to my manager and he wants you to come in. This is a rare vehicle. He wants you to come in so we can discuss pricing. And I was like, fuck you. Like, first of all, like in all this COVID bullshit, the idea is like you're supposed to avoid face-to-face, like unnecessary face-to-face contact.
You should call them on that.
With why I fucking did. but like even if you go to the dealer's website, like not just dealers, every business is like, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like we're doing like touch-free car sales and blah, 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 all this.
Why don't you come on down?
Right, and she's like,
Even other car manufacturers are like advertising like contactless
right, yeah, like,
shopping.
We'll drop it off.
deliver it to your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious? Like, you want me to come in for like some like old school negotiation?
Yeah.
Your dumb fucking sales manager. Like when supposedly there's all these like sanitary rules.
Yeah. No.
So we're both gonna like mask up and then go at it.
The showdown.
I was like,
The duel.
You fucking.
You better
kidding
come
me?
on down so I can bend you over for $1,500.
Right. So they never even like disclose what they want to sell it for. At every other dealer, like even the one with the crazy markup, at least fucking said that was what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Hats off to them for.
So it just reminded me, like, man, dealers it's still like a fucked up business.
Yeah, I love imagining that interaction too. Like, this guy wants to buy this thing at Sticker. Tell him to come in.
Yeah, get him into my office and I'll put the screws to him.
I'll seal the deal. Yeah.
Bring him in.
Yeah,
You know, how much I can take this chump for.
right. So I sent a deposit for that silver one. That's
cool.
supposedly
At Sticker.
if they don't pull some other bullshit.
Pull some strings.
Yeah, so I think it said like it's supposed to be here like by the end of the month.
Nice.
So, but I say I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
knowing what dealers do. So
Yeah. Well, you should.
Oh, you wanted this model?
yeah. Oh, this model's in demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could send one more email that says, like, I'm sending a deposit unless you want me to cancel it or something, you know.
To the other place.
Yeah, like, let me know.
Actually, I did that, and you won't believe what the like saleswoman that I talked to. She was like, "Oh, I just called the dealer that you're dealing with, and they said $10,000 markup."
Oh, really?
Which, I mean, first of all, she said like I called them as a customer.
Oh, wow. Shady.
I mean, that's like some like backstabbing fucking shit. So I'm just gonna say Freeway Toyota in Hanford, California. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
If you know anyone that's ever gone near there, the place is a piece of shit.
Old school dealership experience.
Yeah, so I don't know if they actually called and said that, or they just said that.
Yeah,
like
they just made it up. Yeah.
So I'm like, well,
Well,
either way,
either
you're basically
way.
accusing me of lying.
Yeah.
and going behind a potential customer's back. So fuck off.
Yeah, either way, it's garbage.
So yeah, as it stands now, I've sent the deposit. Supposedly, and the guy that I've talked to at this other place is stand up. I mean, like he's honest. So
Yeah, they're still making money.
right, yeah, they're selling a $40,000
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, it's so funny how, because the manufacturers don't like that.
No,
No.
they shouldn't.
They don't. Dealers are this kind of old school,
Middleman.
unnecessary
Yeah.
middleman.
Yeah.
That's why it's so fun. It's like, I am a Tesla fanboy, but it's kind of funny to watch dealers basically choke the existing industry
Yeah.
while Tesla just capitalizes on the fact that they don't do that stuff. It's just like, yeah, bye.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I guess the same thing happened in Japan where that thing's like super popular. They like sold out all of their order because in Japan people just order a car, but it's like they filled their capacity. But there's no such thing as like, well, like Tokyo Toyota is like they're asking for like 50 G's.
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Like, I think it's just like it's just not part of how they operate.
So you just don't get to have the car because you weren't early enough.
Yeah, you just wait till you can buy one.
Like
again.
a self-respecting.
Right, well, just like you're trying to buy an iPhone or something.
Yeah. That'd be so funny if the Apple store had markup and
Yeah.
stuff. You have to like barter.
This is Johnny's Apple.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
official Apple reseller.
Well, wasn't like back in like the 50s and 60s, weren't there like appliance stores like that? Like, you know, middlemen appliance stores that instead of buying directly from, you know, the manufacturers, there was, you know, mom and pop stores that sold appliances and they would mark it up a
You
little
had to
bit.
go argue it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, marketing up is fine if you get it. A wholesale
reasonable
price.
markup.
That's
Yeah.
how it's always worked. But like, oh, this is popular, so we can just charge more than the manufacturer said we should sell it for.
In a pandemic.
You know, these troubling times.
it's just
like
the
I didn't actually
worst.
give a shit about the COVID thing, but I just thought it was fucked up that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Come on down.
when everyone's like freaking out about this, like just no, come on into my and like this place isn't like an hour away.
Yeah.
And like they don't have the car. The car is coming like at some point. in
Yeah.
the
It's
next-
not like you can come check it
Right.
out.
It's not
take
like
it for a
it's not
test
like even
drive.
if we knocked out a deal that I'd be driving home in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like he literally wanted me to come in for a face to face
negotiation.
fucking like
yeah.
brawl.
You should report him to Toyota or
I'm
something
fucking
like.
thinking about it.
Like, man, your brand obviously doesn't respect the pandemic.
I know.
Because you're
That's what I
dealing
mean. The health authorities.
every other dealer I've contacted.
So
is
my
taking
great grandfather is at risk.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what to do here. He's telling me to come in.
I was just trying to buy a car at your manufacturer's price.
I like Toyota. I thought I did. Yeah. Well,
so
anyways,
maybe we'll have an update on the next episode on that.
you're rocking your silver RAV4 that you won't let your wife drive.
That's right.
Yeah, she can have a regular RAV4. Okay, so last podcast we experimented with a segment.
A very popular
Popular segment called phrases no self-respecting car guy should ever utter. And we're going to attempt to I only have one this time.
Yes,
We're gonna-
I have
We're
one
going to
too.
keep that going. Okay. So basically the title's pretty self-explanatory. It's phrases you shouldn't utter if you have any respect for yourself. John, you want to start us off? What do you got?
All right, I got. Check out my new custom license plate frame.
Oh,
My dad has done that a few times.
You better let him know. He's not a car enthusiast. All right, mine is. This is a very special car, and you're going to need to come down here and hammer out the details.
We've had a lot of interest in this car.
We've had a lot of interest.
Why don't you step into my office and close the door behind you?
Yeah, we're going to work things out. Yeah, no, that's actually mine.
Okay, I actually have two. I could say one, but I'm just going to
Just
both
unload them, yeah.
You've ever said the word rims? Not in a non-joking way.
I say rims.
Yeah, I'll say
Really?
Don't you?
I know you fucking do.
rims.
I don't know.
Nah, bro.
I think sometimes it slips out.
Dude, car guys do not say the word rims.
Rims.
Looking for some 18 rims.
At least a self-respecting car.
I think I have.
I don't think.
I probably
you
have.
probably said it like as a joke.
I don't know.
Like, check out those rims.
Yeah.
You probably said it like that.
Rims.
You never were like, what kind of rims should I get for the M5?
I guess we just say wheels.
Yeah, we'll say
like,
wheels.
like a civilized human being.
Rim. I don't know. I'm gonna watch myself.
Rim-
Maybe wheels.
Very
All right.
self-conscious.
What kind of rims do you guys?
Is it rims? You put rims on it.
Yeah. Custom rims.
You know I'm right.
Does that price include tires on those rims?
Okay, so in addition to that, I added a custom sunroof.
Yes.
Yeah. Rims and a custom sunroof. Damn, good ones.
Solid.
1, 2. Solid. As always, if you have your own phrases, no self-respecting car guy should ever utter.
I would say actually email those to us.
Yeah, email
Yeah.
them.
So that way other people don't see them. If you
Do
just-
not ruin
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Do not.
Carbros2000@gmail.com.
At Gmail. What up? Okay, so I have a friend, Sarah.
What's up, Sarah?
Sup, Sarah, who listens to this podcast. And she messaged me the other day.
Oh, I just want to say, sup, Carl.
Sup,
It's been a
He
while.
hasn't been posting. I don't know
Yeah,
if he's still
I think he's
there.
He's on COVID lockdown, maybe.
He's more of like a lurker.
Yeah.
We hope you're all right, Carl. So Sarah texted me the other day, and she was like, I saw a C8 Corvette
in person.
in person,
Yeah, yeah.
which I had not seen one at the time. And so her review of it, in her words, were, it's pretty good.
Did she see, like, while driving, she saw it, or in a parking lot?
I think she was driving, but
Okay.
that's unconfirmed.
Okay.
Sarah,
Yeah.
What's up, Sarah?
Let us know.
let us know in the comments below.
How long did you get a look at it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw one just today driving down, and it was one of those things where this is like, I'm sure other people do this, but it's kind of a like, I don't want to say depressing, but it's just, you know way too much about cars when you can like spot cool shit. You know, on the freeway when there'll be like a 50-foot divider.
Oh, yeah.
And then like multiple lane, like far away.
It's like,
yeah, and you're like, and you're like spotting the badge. You're
Like time slows down and
yeah, you're like
you can
picking
soak
shit
it all
up.
in. Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, check that thing. Oh, that thing was. It's like half a second.
And then you like relive it in your mind for,
Yeah.
the, next,
350
for the next 5
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. You're just like these like small trim differences, and you're spotting them from like far away. And so I saw a C8. Well, I mean, I don't know what they look like yet, and
Right.
so I wasn't like C8, of course.
Yeah.
And so I saw this thing, and I was like, "Is that like a fucked up like base McLaren?" like I didn't know where to place
is that the
it
new
yet.
McLaren like 460 or something that doesn't even exist? It starts off at like 119,000.
Yeah, the like 320 L.
It's got a 2-liter turbo.
It was like, what is that? Because it's got the shape of
Right.
exotic, but not really.
Right.
And I was like, what? And it was black.
Yeah.
So it's like it really
it's even more subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, it really hid the lines.
Yeah.
And then once it was like to the side of me, I was like, oh, it's a C8.
Yeah.
And so I've seen 2 of them now in person. And I got to say, not full meh, but like 3/4, maybe half. It is a good looking car, but the back end, the like B pillar, which is like the C pillar, whatever, the final pillar,
Right.
Yeah.
the terminal
last pillar.
last pillar and back. It's like, it's just not, it doesn't do it for me. It's a little too big. And it's like they put a big motor in there, and so
Right.
it makes sense. But it's like that back end's just kind of dorky. And I suspect it could be fixed with the Z06.
These will probably be like wider.
Yeah, or it'll have like 21s
Yeah.
and be like dropped
Right.
more. But as it is, there'll be these like 18s in it, and it's kind of like floaty. It's like wheel gap and stuff. And I don't know. It's not bad. But I'm not, when they first unveiled that thing, I remember being like, whoa, like this thing's crazy. And I still like it, but it's not like, it doesn't really like snap my neck in person like I kind of expected it to. But I don't know. It definitely, I mean, to its credit, I thought it was some form of McLaren.
That's right.
You know, it pulls your eye
Right.
as mid-engine exotic. You see
Gets
it.
the
and-
job done.
Yeah, it's like gets the job done. And supposedly they're wonderful to drive. They're supposed to be like performance-wise, they're the business.
Yeah, the first one that I saw was actually it wasn't quite fair because KW suspension is located kind of near us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a black one that was like getting fitted for some coilovers.
Yeah, some new coilovers. Yeah.
So like I saw this thing driving and it was low. It was
Oh,
it was
okay.
black on black, lowered.
And you were like, damn.
And I was just like, holy shit.
Oh man. Yeah, that seems like the type of car, because my criticisms are the wheels aren't big enough and it's not low enough. It's basically the like
Yeah.
Fiero.
That was the
Fury
first one that
thing.
I saw in the wild, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
And then like
I suspect
last
if you
week I saw
slam that thing,
last
it's
week I
like-
saw just like a stock white one. I was
Yeah.
like, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if you lower it, that probably fixes my problem, because they still need those things, especially a base model one, to be fairly compliant.
Right.
And it's hard to do that without a lot of wheel travel.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
And just a
fair
lot of room to like go over speed bumps.
enough.
and,
Yeah, that's
you
what
know.
I mean. So it's like, fair enough. So dump it.
Yeah.
Carburo's top tip.
Yeah,
Slam
it on some rims.
that shit on some rims. Step one. Fucking drop that.
That goes
thing.
for like pretty much most cars. I think.
Yeah, it's funny. The Lexus that I own a Lexus.
Original owner. You're a second owner.
I'm the
sorry.
second owner of a Lexus.
Yeah.
But it has the suspension is it has kind of a weak spring at the front and rear, and then the rest of the shock absorber action and the rest of the spring action is a hydraulic system. But it'll adjust the firmness and kind of response to the road, but it can also do height control. So you can raise it 2 inches, they say, for like going through water or off-road or whatever, going through sand. And then you can also lower it 2 inches from neutral.
How has that not been on more vehicles?
I think it is expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
but I mean, but like all the other stuff that's trickled down that used to be expensive back then, like that's still, you think that'd be like a pretty mainstream
It's
thing
just
if
yeah.
it was doable, but it must not be.
It's expensive and complex.
Right.
yeah, and
It's like it only shows up on Mercedes.
You would think, yeah, but you
Range Rovers.
like you would think, like like a Jeep or like a 4Runner.
They
or
should.
whatever.
yeah,
like all
they
this-
should have it as an
Yeah,
option, but they just don't.
They
Yeah.
should. It's
yeah.
just
it's just like you would think that would be one of the perfect things that like, oh, this is like so commonplace now.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I don't think there's a way to do it where if you do a cheaper version of it, it would be unreliable.
Yeah.
And it would just be
you'd be fucked.
yeah. The thing about the generation I own of LX is you can, if it fails and you don't want to fix it, you can rip it out and you
Right,
can
just replace it with-
you can
with
replace it with the
static
standard
setup.
Land Cruiser
Yeah.
conventional suspension, and on the newer ones you can't.
Oh.
It's so intertwined with the
The rest of the car.
rest of the car that you can't pull it out. But I like it a lot,
Right.
and so they have the low mode it will come back up if you go over 5 miles an hour. Like it gets low too. It puts it almost on the bump stops. But the reason I started talking about this is we were talking about slamming stuff. When you stop, it's for getting in and out easier for like old ladies, or if you're trying to look hard. Yeah. Is what I do. It looks pretty good because you lower it. Right. You get where you're going. You lower the car, and it like dumps it basically as much as it can. I like it quite a bit. But yeah. Anyways, Carbro's top tip for all you C8 owners. Dump that shit.
Just a quick side note. One of the Subaru groups that I'm on, and like Facebook, they have like their classifieds section of people trying to sell it. And the other day I saw this kid trying to sell these set of coilovers for a Subaru. And he was like, bought these by mistake, so I'm trying to get rid of them. They have a 34,000 spring rate coilovers. They're like designed for like the extreme stance cars. So it's like literally he was like
no
yeah
movement.
For like no movement. He was like the difference between like if you jack the car up off of stands or on jack stands and then lower it, it's like a quarter of an inch of travel. He was just like, oh my god,
that's wild.
That thing would just be ridiculous to ride and drive.
That sounds so unappealing to me. I can't even. It's funny how I have changed as I've matured, because when I was younger I was just into give me the lightest, stiffest, loudest car, smallest thing, just this
like
buzzy,
a little go-kart kind of.
That's what the 510 was. It was like gutted harnesses, like loud, whatever. And now I'm just like, I just want to chill.
I want a good stereo system.
I just want like stereo. I don't want to notice bumps in the road. Like, I don't know. Guess I'm getting.
So yeah, hopefully that guy has, can sell it, because that's going to be a tough sell to a lot of people.
Speaking of that, didn't you put some springs and suspension for sale?
Yeah, I started trying to unload some old Subaru parts I have just because of the moving.
You got some great responses.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got like a bunch of random messages from just people like didn't read the description at all.
It's like John put STI, Subaru STI, and it said it in the title.
Yeah. Oh, it's at 05 to 07. STI. Struts and springs,
right? And
it comes with like the aftermarket springs, that like the lower end springs I had with it too,
right?
And like all these people were messaging like,
they're just like, what does this fit?
What kind of car does this fit?
And I was like, a lot of them don't even ask that. They like eventually get there. They ask you something else, like how many miles are on it?
Yeah, the roundabout.
Yeah, like
will this fit an Ultima? like question 4 is like, what car is it for? Like, what? Are the dust boots intact? Yeah, well, this fit an Ultima. It's in the title. It's in the chat.
Yeah, one of them was like, "Hi, John, is this still available?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And this is him trying. This is what he said. Is this for a WATH car? Like he's trying to say what kind of car is this for, and I was just like, what? And he goes, for what cane of car? And I said, read the title, 05 to 07 STI. And he goes,
I'm sure he did.
Chevy, Nissan, or Ford, or Chrysler, Jeep. And I was like, none of those. And he's all, thanks, I need it for a 2004 Nissan.
Oh man,
I was just like,
I'm gonna guess it was an Ultima.
Frontier.
I'm going Ultima. Yeah. Okay, so something I haven't done in a while, I realized, is go to an auto parts store.
Shout out to auto parts.
Sup, auto parts stores. Because I stopped working on the M5, and I realized it's because I just don't own a jack that can get under it. And like, I just rather take it to a place that has a lift. And then the 4Runner, I have a friend who is an ex Toyota master service tech, and he does all the work on it. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. But he's out of town until like September. And so I started working on the Lexus myself. And so I had to go buy, well, first of all, I needed a jack that could lift that thing. I didn't own a 3-ton jack.
Heavy duty.
That's a big boy. As I said, that car weighs, I think it's about 5,600 pounds.
Yeah.
And so my jack was some little bitch,
1.5 ton.
Yeah, 1,000 tons.
Something.
Some lesser jack. And so I was like, all right, I need a 3-ton jack. And then people recommend 6-ton jack stands, 6 or 12.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, partly just because of the size, not necessarily the weight capacity. It's just like
there's a lot of weight to spread.
Yeah, this thing at stock ride height, you can like slide the jack stands under. It's like you really just need these large lift stands. And so I went to an auto parts store, which first of all, they always crack me up because every time you go to an auto parts store, it's like one or two guys working, and one guy's like in the back, and the other guy's like on the phone. It's like the same. You're always just like hanging out on the counter,
waiting to be serviced,
like waiting, you know. And so I wanted to work on it that day, which is it's bad because frequently I will not care what I buy if I can get it that day, rather than like I know such and such a brand. It's like, well, if I can just buy it here,
Right.
And so Harbor Freight recalled their 6-ton jack stands.
Pretty much all, and they're 3-ton.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So they must have had some weird issue with them.
I'm guessing just they had a
Were they
lawsuit.
made in Switzerland?
Yeah, they're Swiss made, hand welded,
Eastern German welded.
yeah. And so I bought a jack from Harbor Freight. I bought their $100 3-ton jack.
Damn.
I think that's the same one I have,
Which is just, I mean, at this point, Harbor Freight's actually pretty dialed in. They used to be kind of a joke.
Yeah.
It used to be like Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
It was just like, they're pretty good now, honestly.
Yeah, they honestly are. Because like even like I had a Craftsman jack, and I think it was like a 3-ton, and that thing failed. Like it just leaked hydraulic fluid within the first year, or it was like right after the year warranty went away. And then like I started Googling around, and everyone was like, "Yeah, these are just the same Chinese."
Yeah,
jacks
Craftsman has gone to hell. I think Craftsman used to mean more than it does now.
Right.
Yeah.
Where basically it's just some Chinese whatever. They bought the brand name or whatever. But so I bought this jack at Harbor Freight, which is like, again, is just a little terrifying jacking this thing up.
It's a big boy.
It's a big boy. And so it's like you're jacking it up on this jack, which should be fine, but you know, it's always a little nerve wracking. And so I unboxed this jack. I'm at home. I unboxed this jack, and on the jack, it's got this big like warning, like before. And here's a picture of it. I took a picture of this stupid sign. Before you operate this jack, they were like, pull the service cover off and open the fill hole and top it off with hydraulic jack oil.
Like, who's gonna do that?
Like, who the fuck owns top it off?
Let me go grab my can off the shelf.
Right, yeah. It should come with some. Or
fucking do it at the factory, maybe. Top it off. It's like, what?
Do it at the factory in Geneva.
in Wolf,
Brussels.
In Wolfgangmeister. It's like, top it off. And then it's like this whole like list of like, top it off and then pump rapidly and then recheck the level.
You have to prime it.
It's like, you fucking do this.
Yeah.
It's a jack, you assholes. And so, like 99.99% of other customers, I didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
Just I looked up really quick online, like, can you substitute like other oils
No,
for jack oil? And they're like,
No.
You will die.
only use hydraulic jack oil. I was like,
Fluid compresses differently. Yeah.
It's like, that means I ain't doing shit. And so I did open the thing, and it's like, there's oil in there.
Yeah, we're
I'm not
good.
sure if I've ever even heard anyone talk about jack oil.
Yeah, jack oil. This is Carbro's deep. This is the Carbro's difference.
Jack oil kind of sounds like Jack Diamond's cousin. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
From
And so it's
Texas
like-
or something.
I mean, I know this exists. I've seen it before. You can buy it, but it's like, why the fuck? Who's?
Yeah.
That's not why I bought a jack. Like, God. And so, anyways, I used it. It was fine. But
Still alive.
yeah, I'm sure if it had failed, they would have covered themselves because of their warning. And so the other thing is, I went to O'Reilly's and bought jack stands. And so it's like, would you ever think to buy jack stands at like you know, like I'm already flirting with the devil here, buying 6-ton jack stands.
I buy them off Alibaba.
Yeah, they're AC Delco brand 6-ton jack stands. I'm putting a fucking Land Cruiser on them and getting under
good to
this
go. Yeah.
Harbor Freight jack. And so I get these jack stands. I mean, they seem it's metal.
Yeah.
How can you fuck up steel?
Whoa, it failed.
Yeah.
No, it's
Buckled.
Like, it's steel. That's what freaks me out. And so I get these things, 6-ton jack stands. I open them up, and on the box it says 1-year warranty. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna warrant jack stands.
Well, if they fail after a year, you're on your own.
1 year? It should be like 30 years. They don't wear out. Why would you only warranty them for
Probably
1 year?
because lawsuits are very expensive when they fail.
How do they like? How is that possible?
Just normal wear and tear only lasts a year. On
Yeah,
this
it
fucking-
only lasts a year on this piece of solid steel.
Yeah.
I mean, that just blew my mind. 1 year. I mean, it makes sense for a jack. There's
Yeah.
seals and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, fine. Yeah. Apparently, I only have 1 year.
You got to put it through its paces.
For
man.
my steel jack stands to fail on me. I mean, I'm kind of contemplating just buying nicer ones in the meantime, because I did what I needed to do.
Official Lexus.
Actual
Jacks.
nice ones, because these were like 60, and then like American made like nice brand is like 100.
Yeah.
They just take 2 weeks to ship. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, shout out to O'Reilly's.
One last thing about
Having
auto
them in
parts stores.
stock.
I don't know about you guys, but like pretty much every auto parts store I go to or even drive by, like you always see the employees' cars like outside.
Yeah, I love that
And, like,
little
and they're usually
mini car show.
they're usually backed in.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
always backed in. Yeah, it's gonna be like a lowered prelude.
Yeah.
Like ski rack.
Yeah, it's like there's like a Prelude and like an MR2, and then one guy has like
like
a
a older-
Blazer.
Yeah, there's always like the off-road guy, and like then like kind of the ricer.
Yeah. They're all guys
Honda.
between like 18 and 25.
Yeah, right. Getting that employee discount, working on their shit.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
There's something kind of like traditional and comforting about that.
Yeah, it's like fast food, not fast food, but like fast casual, like a Panda Express.
Yeah.
And then like O'Reilly's or like AutoZone. That's like the car enthusiast magnet.
But I mean, at least it shows like the guys that work there, like at least like
Yeah,
like
totally.
cars.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just like accidentally work in food service.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to accidentally work
Yeah, like
at
oh, you need a starter
O'Reilly's.
motor. Does that have AC? Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna. Yeah, like
You're not going to be like, I don't know anything
I
about
hate
cars.
cars,
Yeah. I don't know shit about cars, but this is the only job.
yeah,
It's like they're usually kind of into cars.
right.
Yeah, when I went to when I was at Harbor Freight, so I bought that jack, and they have the aluminum one for like 170,
Yeah.
and then the steel one for 100, and it's like I'm going steel.
Yeah.
Like it's really just weight.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you ever going to lift it up the ground? Like,
Yeah.
you're not going
It's
to carry
like-
it upstairs.
It's like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And so I was checking out, and I was asking the guy, I was like, do you have any experience with either of these? He's like, I have the steel one. He's like, I think it's just weight. And he's like, internally, I think they use the same
Mechanism.
like,
Yeah.
guts.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. And so I left, and then I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot I needed a breaker bar. I don't have a 1/2-inch breaker bar. And it's like, I'll get that at Harbor Freight. Because again, it's just
Yeah.
steel.
It's just-
Is there a
it's a
Harbor
tool.
Freight in Davis?
No, it's,
Okay.
it's a, yeah.
I'm just making sure. I just because I was gonna say that was gonna change my perception of Davis.
You gotta go into one of the more sleuthier
An
external
artist.
Yeah, it's not very artist. And so I was like, breaker bar, yeah, like I need just like a 2-foot
Right.
breaker bar because I'm working on something that's like high torque. And so I left and I came back, and the same guy was there, but like he wasn't at the check stand anymore. He was like making his rounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, do you have breaker bars? Like, I forgot to get a breaker bar. He's like, yeah. He's like, here's the breaker bars. And then he's like, he's like, then the torches are over there. He was like, breaker bars are here. Air guns are here, and then torches are against the wall.
First
What
aid
level-
kits are over there.
What level of experience are you going to go for? Yeah.
And then like first aid, splint for your broken arm. He was like, depending on the level of breakage,
Wound ointment.
yeah, you're like burn ointment.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you must work on cars. It was pretty funny. But yeah, it was like same kind of thing. It's like you're not going to accidentally work at Harbor Freight.
Right.
Where like then I went into Ace, and it's like you could accidentally
Right.
work at Ace.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, I don't know. I don't know where the whatever is. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny though. But it worked well. Oh, one other thing, side note, the brand. So do you what brand do you associate with Harbor Freight? What is
I'm
that
more of a
like?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
so
and-
Pittsburgh
yeah.
is like their
Yeah.
that's like the Harbor Freight.
Pittsburgh is code for like Shenzhen.
Shenzhen heavy machine steel stamping and pneumatic tool forge.
Youngstown is like Guangzhou.
Yeah.
They also
child
have
labor camp. Pittsburgh, I mean.
some of the
Pittsburgh LLC doing business as Shenzhen forced labor and soup factory.
they also have a line of like power tools that's Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago and Pittsburgh.
They're like in that
Strong.
rust belt.
Yeah, the
Farmer's favorite. Doing business as Huigong MSG factory and heavy ammunition manufacturer. Yeah. So anyways, I buy this breaker bar and the brand, here's a photo of it. The brand is Pittsburgh Pro.
They got their pro line.
Stepped it up.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Probably just means they use like 2% better grade steel or something. Yeah.
So I load this thing up and I just snap it in half. First go.
Breaks like a twig.
It just breaks like kindling. Boom, right into my arm. I'm bleeding everywhere. Luckily, I have the Pittsburgh Pro first aid kit. Suture myself up. No
Good to
big deal.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, that jack was $100, and then the breaker bar was like 14.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
It was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so glad I'm out of the phase where I used to just be into like, well, someday I might need a transmission jack.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's like you go into Harbor Freight and it's like, oh, maybe I should get air tools.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be like, oh, I'm only going to get Craftsman like hand tools because they have that lifetime warranty.
Snap-on.
And now I'm just like, well, like Sears doesn't even fucking exist anymore. So I think you have to go to like Lowe's now or something. But but the Harbor
I'm pretty
Freight.
sure Craftsman is also a division of Guangzhou.
Yeah, that's probably
Doing
true now,
business
yeah.
as Feng Zhang. heavy animal labor and meat rendering facility / steel mill.
But I probably have so many Harbor Freight tools that like I only needed for like one job.
If you're not going to use it that often, that's the thing is like if you're not using it that often, Harbor Freight all the way. Pittsburgh Pro. Yeah. I'm a big fan.
At least step up to the pro.
I have like the Pittsburgh like radiator pressure testing.
Yeah,
kit.
exactly.
It's like I'm never gonna like when am I ever gonna use this?
The AC recharge kit.
Yeah.
The stuff where it's like I would spend the money is wrenches, ratchets, maybe sockets.
Yeah.
And then like honestly screwdrivers and stuff
Right,
too.
yeah.
But it's like something where it's like you frequently use those tools. Yeah. It was
like,
worth
like
it.
grabbing for it like in the house. or
Yeah, I would
something.
do like Snap-on or Craftsman Professional or whatever. But other than that, it's like
Yeah.
Shenzhen all the way. Super happy brand.
Unicorn.
Yeah, Unicorn Pro. 3/4 inch breaker bar. Fucking standing on that thing. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say that I had to go into AutoZone the other day to get like an AC recharge kit for the Subaru, just because I had a leak, so I had to replace like the expansion valve or something, and then completely fill it up. But so I walk in, and again, it's 3 guys working. One guy's already helping a customer. One guy's just like leaning on the counter texting, and then one guy's like walking around in the back on the shelves and stuff. And so I go and stand in front of the guy, you know, who's just leaning on the counter texting. But because of COVID, they put like
I've seen that.
foldable tables in front of the counter. So you're like 8 feet away from the dude, and there's like a thing of plexiglass. So I'm standing there, and he just is like focused on his phone, like doesn't even notice I'm there. And the guy in the walking around the back notices me, so he goes like, "Hey Ryan," like, and then Ryan's like, "Yeah, what's up?" Like, he like doesn't even like look away from his phone. He's just like, "Yeah, what's up?" And the other guy's, "Hey Ryan." What? He like turns around, looks at the guy, and then he like, oh, I didn't even see this guy here because I'm fucking standing 10 feet away from him.
I know. And I usually do the move where I'm like they're typing stuff in. I'm like trying to like
get in their
out the
peripherals.
computer, you know, like it's the fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like that customer.
leaning in on.
It's the 70
Let me
volt.
see. Yeah, let me see the full list and the price
just show me.
differences.
I know more than you. I'm like that asshole.
I always thought those places are weird because like it seems like they have way more stuff than they should.
Yeah.
Like when you order something, it's like, oh, I need a whatever, like a starter motor for this car. It's like, oh yeah, we got that.
Yeah, it's like in the back. Yeah, I'm
it's,
always
like, how big is your fucking
I'm always like, they're not going to have this. It's like, starter. Yeah, we got 2 of them. Which brand do you want? You want the Fel Pro? Or it's like, really? Damn.
And the funny, like, you know, every time I, you know, sound like, oh, it's for a 2007, you know, Subaru STI, and they're like going through the thing, but obviously the list is like Impreza, and so they're like, I can't find it, and I'm like, it's an Impreza, like, and then
starts with
or like I'll say like, oh, it's an STI, and they go, oh, nice, and then they're like, does it have a turbo? And I'm like, yes, it has a turbo.
Is it the V6? There's always like some weird engine option that doesn't exist. Does that have the rotary in it? It's like, no, there's not what. It's
Hybrid.
It's not the rear drive. Yeah.
All right. I got a pretty good one that kind of ties in with rims in a way.
Yeah.
Just remember Nitrous?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I do.
Nitrous.
Well, it was like I mean, like even totally aside from like the Fast and Furious, like NOS, cultural.
Phenomenal.
It was like a big thing in like the 2000s.
I'm sure it's still
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I know it's
Where
still,
did it go?
I know it still exists, but like it used to be like, oh yeah, I got fucking Nitrous on my car.
I got 150 shot.
Or even whatever. Like I got a 35 shot. Well, you know, it's a little something.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like you can't tune
Or it's like
for it
compression is too high or
anymore,
something.
or now everything's turbo. Maybe
It's weird. Like it just used to be like, oh yeah,
kind of came and went.
like it was like relatively common to put it on like an otherwise like stock.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nitrous was like the go-to.
Oh, like I knew that dude was on the bottle.
Yeah.
Like when's the last time you've heard anyone talk about Nitrous?
People used to put nitrous on like rental cars. Fucking nitrous on it. Yeah, that's a good point. I think E85 and like high turbo boost has like
become the new. Yeah.
Well, it's like plus like all the maybe like direct injection.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
Maybe
all
fuel
those motors
systems
have
are-
like super high compression, right?
Maybe fuel systems are more complex now. Let us know. That's a good one.
Carl,
Carl
if
or like
you're out there.
Lena would like probably know.
Yeah.
Like, where is nitrous gone?
Then there's also meth injection. Wasn't that a
Well,
thing?
meth
That's
injection.
still kind
That's
of
more like
around.
if you're like getting kind of serious.
Yeah.
Like people just like
Nitrous
oh,
is just
it's
like
like oh,
off
I put fucking nitrous on my Accord.
Off the bat, people had nitrous.
Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked no car from the manufacturer ever came with nitrous.
I feel like that kind of seems like something Dodge. would-
Yeah, doesn't it feel like something like
Yeah.
Dodge or like whatever with like fucking nitrous? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did make a car called the Nitro. That's
Yeah,
about as
that's
close
true.
as they get.
Yeah, that was probably the compromise. That's not what I meant.
I'm sure like the next edition of the Demon.
I'm honestly surprised that they have not. They did the closest thing they came to is like an intercooler sprayer.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Or the
Purge in the system. Yeah.
Oh, you can't feel this, but it's doing
It's
something.
spraying water on my intercooler.
Yeah, believe me, it's like rusting my injectors out.
Yeah.
It's fucking up.
That
all
was the Evo that had that, wasn't
a
it?
couple cars. had it.
SDI has one.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Damn. How often do you use it?
Well, it's only for a top mount. So
So you don't get to use it.
yeah, I'd have to like relocate.
I'd
stuff.
reroute it.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I should,
spray
yeah.
your car.
Yeah.
Whoa! It's basically it's just like nitrous.
Yeah. Someone should have done nitrous.
Mm-hmm.
That does feel like a Dodge thing. Dodge, if you're listening, I know we have a lot of polls. So. Yeah, we might have to fit a nitrous joke into Jack Diamond's garage. That feels like kind of a.
I'm like your worst nightmare on nitrous.
it feels like it's right for something. Okay, and finally, car stereos. So here are two notes. One is that car stereos sound so much better with the car off. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like you'll pull into your garage or something and turn the car off if the music's still playing. Because you have eliminated this like booming noise of the motor.
Right.
It's like the bass. And
Not
just
if you drive a
everything is-
civilized electric.
yeah, well, fair enough. But it's like, it's kind of funny how bad car stereos are always bad. It's like this kind of compromise.
I don't know. Like
how good
I
can
think
it
I think
get?
I've talked about this before, but like
You don't care.
yeah, like I mean, the only time I've ever noticed a stereo being bad is when it's just been like broken.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise,
I've never been
it's
like, oh, the fucking system in that like 2017 Civic sucks dick.
yeah, bro. That's why you got to get Lexus. Slapping that Nakamichi six did or Mark
Or just,
Levinson.
I mean, like you'll see people
something.
talking about the car. It's like it's a good car, just the stock stereo just does not get
Yeah,
it done. I'm like,
I care. I notice ish. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile, but like I don't know. I enjoy music.
Yeah.
I know you just do not care.
actually, I just thought of a good Jack Diamond joke.
All right, put it in the list. I mean, if there is a audio standalone a la carte audio upgrade for a car, I would almost always seek that out.
Yeah.
On a used car, unless it did something bad, where if you get it, it prohibits you from.
I mean, I wouldn't stop it, but I'd never be like, I gotta have
I would not.
the Mach.
Yeah.
It's got the little amplifier in the back.
I usually like the audio setup. Okay, so anyways, my follow up to that is loud. When people play like loud stereos, you know, especially like where I live, there's like a downtown.
I don't know if you knew this. You frequent this place very often.
There's a downtown setting. And people will drive by and like they'll be they're like, look at me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we can all agree that's like a pretty pathetic look. It's just it always.
The best is when you're at a gas station and they have their cars off and they're outside of their car filling up their tank and they have to turn their stereo up
the license
so that they could be hearing. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, does anyone think that's cool? Okay, so here's the exception to someone when it's okay to play your stereo loud is when you're on like a fucking chopper.
Okay, I was hoping you're on
like a big hog.
When you're on a full custom bike, and you've got the build that would like kick someone's ass if they said anything.
You're just like a big dude, and it's like they always sound terrible. It's not good. It's a motorcycle.
You can like faintly hear like Skinner.
It's not going to be good, but they're just blasting it.
Mostly because they have to like be able to hear it at
it's
all.
Like there's nowhere to hide the sound.
The other thing that's cool is it's always either like 70s Southern rock or it's like some like funk music or something. It's never like whatever, like Lil Nas or whatever. Like,
I mean, whatever it is, they're allowed. That's how I feel. It's like you are just putting yourself out there so far that you get to play whatever. You get to play whatever.
It's always
you
like
want.
the Commodores.
Yeah, it's like and it always sounds terrible. Because they're going to be like coming and then going. And so you get this like morbid Doppler effect.
Plus they're wearing a helmet while they listen to it.
And they're like full leather, just cranking whatever that stereo is. I mean, I don't even know where you fit the stereo on a bike. But every time I see that, I'm like, go for it, man.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah, because it's way less annoying than a loud Harley.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that is not cool. But stereo on a bike, yes. Stereo on a bike, yes. Loud motor on a bike, no. Electric bike with a loud stereo.
We'll see.
That's a gray zone. That's a gray zone. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah. Anyways, that is all we got.
Solid.
So, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. One more time, if you are enjoying Car Bros and want to support our work, we have a Patreon. Check it out. Google Car Bros Patreon. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here and hope you enjoyed. We will see you next time.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Guys, why so late on the bye-bye?
I like to.
I'm just waiting for Garrett to go.
I like to let it marinate a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Did it lose focus or something?
It like froze.
Fuck it. They're getting a splash screen.